What is the current state of affairs in Pakistan's ongoing crisis? Even by the norms of Pakistan's continuously unpredictable politics, the past 10 weeks in the nation have been extremely chaotic. Can the rest of the world stand by and watch Pakistan export its terrorists, radical Islamists, and grooming gangs all over the world without consequence? This is the case, even though Pakistan's politics are always unstable. As of the 11th of April, Pakistan has a new administration following the resignation of former Prime Minister Imran Khan as a result of a vote of no confidence. The weeks leading up to the vote, beginning with the submission of the motion on March 8th and continuing until the vote on April 10, were full of excitement and suspense. How likely is it that Pakistan will still be around in the next 10, 20, or 50 years, given the current trajectory? Hello everyone, welcome back to Studying Scholar. In today's video, we are going to analyze the political crisis in Pakistan. And let's begin. The nation is currently experiencing both an economic and political crisis. While the former Prime Minister is spearheading protests around the nation, criticizing the legitimacy of the government and pushing for new elections, the newly elected administration, led by Shehbaz Sharif, has been in a condition of decision paralysis and is struggling to find its feet. At the same time, Pakistan is also in the midst of a severe environmental crisis. In Pakistan, not only has the political climate become increasingly tense, but the country has also been engulfed in an extraordinary heat wave for many weeks. Really? Surely you jest. While I have little trouble persuading my friends and readers of Pakistan's amazing landscape and people, I am always met with the same question: is it risky to travel to Pakistan, though? It's a fair issue, and one for which, alas, there is no simple solution. The fall of Khan's government. Understanding how Khan's government fell is essential to finding a solution to the current problem. Khan was Pakistan's first prime minister to be removed from office as a result of a vote of no confidence. Nonetheless, he joined each of his predecessors as prime minister in that he did not remain in office for the full 5 years, which is the length of the electoral term for parliament. Since Khan took office, Pakistan's major opposition parties have been demanding that he step down, referring to him as selected by the military rather than elected. In the fall of 2020, these parties came together to form an alliance known as the Pakistan Democratic Movement, specifically for the purpose of achieving this goal. During the spring of this year, the opposition gained ground. On the surface, the opposition pointed the finger at Khan for poor administration and economic performance. However, the underlying factor that contributed to the success of their moves was the fact that Khan had lost the support of Pakistan's military, which had been an important factor in his ascension to power. The rising political turmoil in Pakistan is really just a grab for power by the opportunists? What do you think about this? Khan and the military, who had previously operated on a much-touted same page, were estranged from one another as a result of a combination of a few different circumstances. The most significant one was a standstill that occurred in October 2021 around the transfer of the Director General of the Inter-Services Intelligence. Khan delayed signing off on the transfer of the Director General for several weeks, despite the fact that it had previously been approved by the military. It is speculated that Khan wanted the then ISI head to remain in his position for the next election, since he was a Khan loyalist, or perhaps even to appoint him the next army chief. As soon as Khan lost the backing of the military, despite the fact that the military said it had become impartial, room was made available for the opposition to make their movements. It was enough for Khan to lose his razor-thin majority in the National Assembly when two tiny parties that had been affiliated with him in the ruling coalition switched their allegiance to the opposition. To know more about the crisis in Pakistan, subscribe to our channel. He accused the U.S. of regime change for pursuing an independent foreign policy, and he claimed that local abettors were to blame. The claims that Khan made have been refuted by Pakistan's National Security Committee. Khan's theory was the cause of the collapse of his government. However, Khan and his associates have also hinted that the military was to blame for his departure. Sometimes they have done so in a more oblique manner, while other times they have pointed the finger more squarely at the neutrals, which is how they now refer to the military. They are testing the limits of political conflict with the military by acting in this manner, and they will retreat only when the military pushes back on their claims. The political crisis in Pakistan has persisted despite a change in leadership, reflecting the country's severe economic and social woes. As a result, Imran Khan is no longer prime minister. Fighting between different state groups has escalated to unprecedented levels, with one side openly assaulting the other on social media and in public. This has led to a widening of the fissures within the ruling class. Imran Khan has begun protesting what he claims is a U.S. conspiracy in which the military and the opposition parties are complicit. His public meetings on 13 April in Peshawar and 16 April in Karachi, both of which drew massive audiences, came after he called for demonstrations the day after he was deposed. There should be a sizable turnout for his April 21 public meeting in Lahore. An intense polarization. Khan has utilized the fact that he was kicked out to rally his fans. The new administration is referred to as an imported government on a daily basis, and the new Prime Minister is referred to as the Crime Minister in massive protests held all throughout the country. Khan has garnered media attention through his rallies and interviews in which he says that the corrupt politicians who are responsible for Pakistan's issues were reinstated into power as a result of the collapse of his administration. His followers, most of whom are from the middle class, are young and live in cities and are outraged by what they regard as Khan's abrupt and organized removal from office, repeat his statements on social media. Khan wants to undermine the legitimacy of the new administration with this narrative of grievances. His party resigned from parliament and he is pushing for new elections. Khan is also calling for new elections. Now, he intends to put even more pressure on the government to hold elections by leading a freedom march to Islamabad, which will most likely take place later this month. Rather than making assumptions, it might be helpful to consider what the underlying patterns imply for Pakistan's future. The new government. The newly formed administration, which is being led by Shehbaz Sharif of the PMLN, is up against serious opposition, and not only from Khan. Nawaz Sharif, Shehbaz's brother and a three-time former prime minister who was removed from office in 2017 on accusations of corruption and who currently resides in London, continues to exert an outsized amount of power over the party as well as the government. Throughout his entire political career, Shehbaz has always been Nawaz's political understudy due to the latter's greater charisma. He served as chief minister of Pakistan's largest province, Punjab, on 3 separate occasions. The new prime minister and many senior members of his cabinet took an impromptu journey to London the week before last in order to meet with Nawaz and discuss the future course of the government. While they were away, Pakistan's economy continued its freefall to its current disastrous state. In comparison to the dollar, the value of the rupee continued its steep decline and the stock market as a whole also declined. Whether or not you have the backing of Pakistan's military is crucial if you want to be elected to political office? Comment your answer. The government must make a crucial choice regarding whether or not to continue the expensive and unsustainable fuel subsidies that Khan's government instituted. The International Monetary Fund requires that these subsidies be eliminated as a prerequisite for the IMF to consider renewing Pakistan's loan program. The elimination of subsidies would almost certainly be met with opposition, which is a concern for a government that has a short amount of time left in office before the next election. To this point, the government has chosen to delay, making the announcement earlier this week, despite the advice of its own finance minister that it will continue to provide subsidies for now. The 2018 election triumph of Imran Khan has been followed by the spectacle of a rebellion inside his own party. What part has the military of Pakistan played during the crisis? In addition, how will Pakistan's diplomatic efforts be affected by the current chaos? A webinar was held including 3 experts talking about what caused Pakistan's political crisis and what may happen next. It seems if you have seen our previous videos, the world is disturbed everywhere. How could this be? And that's it for today, guys. We sincerely hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please click on the like button and share it with your friends and family. If you have any questions or comments, please share them with us in the comment space below. I see you find the video interesting, so don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for future updates. You can also check out our other videos that have been specially selected for you. We'll catch up in the next video.